Today, the duck navigated through the Panama Canal on a cruise ship, a free cruise that I got as a casino comp. It began in the Caribbean portion of the Atlantic Ocean. Early in the morning, they invited the ship's passengers to come out on the bow and check out the entrance to the Panama Canal. There was champagne and there were special Panama sweet rolls, and it was a lot of fun. And as dawn broke, we began our journey. The journey started by going under the Atlantic Bridge, which was very grand and which allowed for colossal ships to pass underneath it.
Welcome to the Panama Canal. We have currently seen entry the Atlantic Bridge. This bridge is quite new. This bridge was just opened in February of 2023. Before they bridge, it was a bridge of 75 meters of more than up ahead of us, we can also see the two lines.
And as we rode along, you could see some wildlife. I'm not sure what this animal was. Maybe an anteater or a tapir? It started running to catch up with the ship. Maybe it was a capybara. And then I saw an enormous alligator, or maybe a crocodile, covered in mud, over to the right of that pipe right there. Huge. And as we moved forward, we got to the first set of so-called locks. Rather than just knock out an entire mountain, the engineers created this series of chambers that would elevate ships almost 100 feet and then slowly return them down to sea level from the Atlantic to the Pacific Oceans, and vice versa. The locks are a real wonder of engineering. There's kind of like a dip, and then water drains from one side into the other, and it sort of equalizes the two sides of the gate. It's really fascinating to see how it takes these colossal cargo ships and either raises or lowers them using gravity, really. The gates themselves are 64 feet wide and 7 feet thick. And these are the so-called old locks, the original ones that have been here for a very long time. And they still are a marvel of engineering. The new locks are sort of on the other side, but our ship didn't use them. And once both sides of the gate were at the same water level, our ship was poised to go through.
If you look straight ahead, our lock gates are opening.
There were these little mini trains on either side of the ship, which are called mules, and they guided the ship through into the next chamber once the gates had opened. And as our ship was heading Atlantic to Pacific, the ship parallel to us was heading Pacific to Atlantic. And then we proceeded towards another set of gates. These were much taller. After passing through the first set of 3 locks, we arrived in the man-made lake called Gatun Lake. Gatun Lake was at the canal's highest level of elevation, and it was very beautiful and surrounded by lush jungles. It sort of reminded me of the movie Predator. Next, the ship wound through a beautiful channel called the Culebra Cut, and it eventually passed under this beautiful bridge called the Centennial Bridge. And then we had to complete the final 3 locks, which would drop us down to the elevation of the Pacific Ocean. There was also a large group gathered who were waiting to see the big ships go through the final locks. It was like we were celebrities. And the journey was completed as we passed under the very grand Bridge of the Americas.
It considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. It still operates very much how it operated in 1920. This is a trip back in time, but also a trip that shows us what is possible in the future.
And as we finally passed Panama City and entered the Pacific Ocean, I gave a toast to one of the 7 engineering wonders of the world, the Panama Canal. I'm so glad I got a chance to experience it.